Hello and welcome to all Lamborghinis, Ferraris, Rolls-Royce, or even Clenet and Morgan. Here are the 10 most expensive cars abandoned in the street. Urban exploration enthusiasts, or urbex for the initiated, often unearth famous treasures during their urban wanderings. But nothing in the world could match the incredible discovery that this small group of friends made in France, more precisely in the north of the town of Angers, in the department of Maine-et-Loire. While this group of merry men were exploring the surroundings in search of some original finds, their eyes fell on an object that seemed to glow in the surrounding darkness. As they made their way through the brambles and lush vegetation, the group of urban explorers couldn't believe their eyes. For under the dense foliage and branches, they found one of the most prized collector cars in the world, and most certainly one of the most expensive too. It is a Clenet Series 3, a car with a retro style and clean lines, which was all the rage in the United States in the 1970s and the 1980s. The brand Clenet Coachworks Inc. had been created in Santa Barbara, California, by a Frenchman passionate of mechanics who had succeeded in the daring bet to combine the modern technology with a neoclassical style of bodywork. This particular model was produced in 65 numbered copies, which makes it an extremely rare car on the collector's market. Some of the more common models, like the Series 1 and 2, were sold at more than $150,000 US. The Clenet 3 could therefore be much more expensive because of its rarity. Luxury cars abandoned in a garage or in a parking lot and eaten by dust and cobwebs are not necessarily common. But what would you do if you came across a veritable Alibaba's cave filled to the brim with cars, each more luxurious than the last? You might think that this kind of thing never happens in real life, and that such a fantastic discovery can only exist in a movie or a novel, right? You would be wrong though, because on this sequence no less than 300 prestigious cars have been found crumbling under the dust for more than 30 years. The discovery made by Larry Kozilla, the happy owner of a mechanics and customization garage, allowed to unearth real little jewels of the luxury car industry. Dozens of Lamborghinis, Ferraris and Porsches have been discovered, but also some extremely rare and expensive models, such as the Bizarrini P538, a roadster from the 1960s that is worth €1 million net. Or this fabulous Matra Jet, a two-seater racing car developed by the Frenchman René Bonnet in 1962, and which was the very first roadster in history to use a mid-rear engine. This marvelous collection, which had not seen the light of day for more than 3 decades, will benefit from a good cleaning before being proudly displayed to the delight of collectors. While Aston Martin and Jaguar are the best known and most iconic sports cars in the UK, there are also other brands that are well worth a look. The Lotus Elise, for example, is the quintessential British racing car, combining unrivaled sporting performance with a stylish, so British design. This racing car was the first car in the world to use an epoxy-bonded and baked aluminium chassis, weighing only 65 kilograms, which gives it an incredible lightness and improved speed performance. This featherweight car, nevertheless, has a rather heavy price tag, since you have to pay more than €76,000 to get behind the wheel. The Lotus Elise is a car that we don't see every day on our roads, and even less abandoned on a parking lot, littered with dead leaves and garbage. However, this picture, taken in a rather quiet area, shows us a very nice specimen of a Lotus in mustard yellow, which seems to have been abandoned for a long time already. But let's be reassured, because this cute little motorized Pikachu will only need a good shower and an oil change to carve the road again. As soon as we talk about luxury cars, we can't help but think of a gleaming and brand new Rolls-Royce, a true jewel of the British automobile industry. The Rolls has never ceased to make lovers of beautiful luxury sedans fantasize since its creation in 1904. With a robust and elegant design, this superb car also embodies a refinement and luxury of a whole other level, so much so that a Rolls-Royce can easily be qualified as a real road yacht. With an average price of 500,000 euros, this is a car that we do not expect to see abandoned by its happy owner. But it seems that a rather unusual trend has taken hold of some rich Indians, and that would consist in leaving their superb Rolls-Royce abandoned. Indeed, several of these luxurious vehicles have been spotted rusting and dusting in Kandala in Maharashtra, in New Delhi, and in other Indian provinces. To this day, no one can explain why these wonderful Rolls-Royces have been abandoned. Because if some of them were in fact seized by the police because of the proven criminal activities of their ex-owners, others, like the Silver Spur 2, abandoned for a long time on a parking lot, are a total enigma. The Silver Shadow has also become a real tourist attraction in Kandala because if the details of its abandonment are still obscure, some persistent rumors would like this car to be literally haunted by evil spirits. No need to rub your eyes or clean your glasses, you are not fooled, because these images that you see on this sequence are real, although they give the impression to be taken from a Hollywood movie. This surreal video shows us the discovery of a huge collection of cars in a dusty old shed near London. This astonishing find includes 175 prestigious cars, from the Mercedes SL to the Porsche Boxster or the 911, including iconic Land Rovers or Range Rovers. Some quite rare models were also included in this precious abandoned collection, such as a 3-door Mercedes G-Class, which are just waiting to be restored to their former glory. This amazing collection will indeed be put up for sale once the cars have been dusted off and undergone a small technical inspection to make sure they are in good working order. The London car restoration professionals will have a lot of work to do to bring back to life these 175 cars that have remained frozen in time and oblivion. Abandoned sedans or small city cars. We see them every day, especially if we live in a big city or metropolis. But a superb Lamborghini Diavolo abandoned in a farm, it's sure that it does not run the streets. Look at this sequence and tell us if it's not a superb Italian farm animals version that you see there. This blue Lamborghini Diavolo was indeed abandoned for an obscure reason by its owner. Not far from an airplane hangar, nature slowly but inexorably took over. And little by little, the car became discolored, and grass started to grow on its grills and on the smallest gap of its beautiful sporty body. And as you can see, and as ironic as it may seem, this beautiful bull from the Italian stables has been colonized by a herd of goats, which come almost every day to graze between its horns, between its headlights. Another Lamborghini dropped for this sequence, but this time it's not just any Lamborghini, because the car you're about to see is a genuine Lamborghini Miura P500S, the undisputed star of the 1960s sports cars, and the icon of a whole generation of thrill seekers. Produced from 1966 to 1972, the supercar was indeed the precursor of the two-seater sports cars with rear mid-engine, and it was also the most powerful car ever marketed at its time. This powerful V12 could indeed reach crazy speeds, which really contributed to make the brand known on the international level, whereas until then it was rather confined to the Italian market. This Lamborghini Miura P500S has just come out of a long coma of more than 40 years, since it was sadly rotting in the underground parking of the Hilton Hotel in Athens, Greece. Its history goes back to the early 70s, when it was bought by a Greek ship owner who wanted to offer it to one of his friends, a former rally driver turned successful singer. The supercar was then parked and its engine sent to the Lamborghini factory for repair, but for some obscure reason it was put on display in the museum of the brand's headquarters in St. Agata Bolognese. Separated from its engine block, this superb car remained totally immobile in the basement of the hotel, until finally it suddenly emerged from the shadows in 2012. The engine, which the Italian team had exposed in its museum, was then ordered, and once mounted in the car, it could finally run. Put on sale and auction, this superb vehicle had exceeded without difficulty and very largely the start-in stake, and which was 455,000 euros all the same. The Aston Martin is one of those prestigious English cars, which enjoys an unfailing reputation and an international popularity. James Bond's iconic vehicle has indeed made several generations dream with its sensual curves and impressive gadgets, all with a touch of luxury and elegance for the least British. The Aston Martin DB4 Coupe is one of the models that has aroused the most fantasies among fans and aficionados of the British brand. So we can't imagine how it ended up in a small forest in Massachusetts, USA, especially since this DB4 Coupe is in fact a Series 2, which today costs more than $750,000 at the very least. The car, abandoned since the early 1970s, would have been the property of a famous dubbing actor who lived in Los Angeles in 1962. After its exhumation, it will need a good big brush and shampoo to give it back its colors. Nevertheless, this exceptional vehicle would already be worth a little more than $475,000 in its current state. In other words, almost half-rotted and overgrown with lush vegetation, which is finally more than a good deal, isn't it? This Mercedes that you see now on your screens certainly doesn't look like much, but beware of appearances, because they are often deceiving. It is indeed a superb Mercedes 300 Sl Roadster from 1961, and although its faded look, even literally decrepit, may put you off, you should know that it is considered as one of the most prestigious and sought-after collector cars. Lying in a suburban garage somewhere on the East Coast, this magnificent Mercedes is just waiting for a restoration effort to shine again. But you'll have to pay a little more than $750,000 to see it win beauty contests, which is not really cheap after all. And as always, we have saved the best for last, with the incredible discovery of this abandoned mansion as well as its splendid luxury vehicles. Hidden by the surrounding woods, this sumptuous mansion has been mysteriously abandoned with its furniture and all the utensils and objects of daily life, such as clothes and tools. The former occupants probably moved out so suddenly that they even had to leave the entire prestigious collection of luxury cars. These are superb automobiles, such as Mercedes, Corvettes, or even Morgan, which were left on the bench, quietly parked in the large garden of the property. We still don't know who owns such a beautiful treasure, but we know that he must be really unconscious to abandon it like that. And that's it for today. What do you think of 10 beautiful, superb cars, sadly abandoned to their fate and at the mercy of dust and the elements? Which of them impressed you the most? Tell us in the comments. And if you liked this video, don't forget to put a like and subscribe and activate notifications. See you soon for new discoveries out of the ordinary.